And hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos. And after another few rounds of technical glitches, welcome back to another Let's Play. We are here on my Dino Assault, and today we will be covering the All Saints Wake event for 2024. If you are playing FF14 and want to do this yourself, I suggest you click away now. That way you can play yourself and then come back and rewatch it as you wish. If you don't care, then welcome. I hope you like it, and so like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. And with that, let us talk to the pumpkin-headed apparition. This is okay. This is the first time I'm doing this seasonal event on this character, so it should be interesting. The ether-starved Ahriman, the pumpkin-headed apparition, is on the lookout for an able adventurer. An adventurer by the looks of you. As it so happens, I have a proposition suited to a man of your talent. Are you prepared to throw caution to the wind and consort with fiends most foul? Yeah, why not? Of course you are. But before we get to the heart of the matter, let us reflect upon the history of All Saints Wake. On this night, do fell fiends emerged to divert and careen, and concerned with the judgments of those on high, for the halls of the saints' heavenly abode ring with merriment as the wine flows freely, and no one can be bothered. And no one can be bothered to look down. Thus did God's fearing folk greet this particular sunset with trepidation, daring not to venture from their homes. Homes no longer. Nay, for adventurers came and drove out the void sent, restoring safety to the city streets and marking the occasion as one of jubilation. That's all well and good, but what of the poor forsaken fiends? Are they too not deserving of revelry? I suppose they are, depends on what they define as revelry. My wish is to see All Saints Wake reborn as a celebration for all, be they ghost, ghoul, Gridanian, or otherwise. And how do we propose to accomplish this feat? Binding obligations, friend. I have convinced the more sinister sorts to enter into contracts which forbid them from preying on mortals. In exchange, they are permitted to partake in the festivities. But there's one troubled soul who still seems incapable of getting into the spirit of things. Perhaps you would be willing to give them a helping hand. Nothing too devilishly difficult, I promise. Before you get started, you'll want to get a grasp of the particulars by speaking with Papa Gruff. He ought to be performing one of his shows by the entrance of the Great Loam Brewery. Now go, I shall be watching your performance with great interest. Okay. Take up Papa Gruff. Okay, so just repeating the dialogue there. Okay, we have Papa Gruff, we have some kids, and this person here. Although it pains me so, our humble performance must draw to a close. Let us then end things on a high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you feast your eyes on the fantastic Myrokos and his transformation magics. nothing happened. What was all that about? The clowning and whatnot was a right laugh, but that last bit was bleeding rubbish. Come on, let's get out of here. Yeah, the kids are not impressed. Once more, you failed to muster up even an ounce of magical prowess. I had the crowd in the palm of my hand. We'd have been the toast of the town if not for your blunder. There you go again, shrieking the same old tune. I've had it up to my eyeball with this farce. Just because you know a few cheap tricks doesn't give you the right to treat me like that. I can't stand the sight of you, let alone the thought of taking to the stage with you again. Good riddance. You don't belong to my usual demographic. If you're not here to see one of my shows, then why are you here? So that's an interesting change for one who hasn't done this event before. A foul fiend failing to get into the spirit of All Saints Week. I'd wager you speak of Philcox, the fellow who stormed off in a huff. Like most of our ilk, Philcox and I have an insatiable appetite for ether. But unlike your garden variety void scent who hunt hapless mortals like beasts, we prefer to sate our hunger with their enthusiastic approval. I tell you, there's no ether as delectable as you'll find in food gifted in genuine appreciation. Which set me to thinking perhaps preying on mortals was an old-fashioned and misguided approach. Thus did I commit to giving folk the sort of frights that dazzle and delight winning hearts and minds, and in the process no small number of ether-laden delicacies. And what better occasion for such terrifying amusements as All Saints' Week? The method is catching too. Many voidsent now seek ether in this manner. Philcox is one such reformed individual. When I first laid eyes upon him, I sensed promise, but get him in front of a crowd and you're lucky to get a smattering of half-hearted applause, let alone a few measly crumbs. You'd be better off hearing it from the Arman's mouth, though. He can't have gotten far. But that's an interesting little change. You know, obviously he wouldn't acknowledge us, because he's only just met us now. That sniveling whelp of an imp, magic's this, magic's that, the sheer unbridled cheek of it. Philcox is practically frothing at the mouth, so incensed is he by his treatment at the hands of Papa Gruff. You must soothe him before attempting to start a conversation. Ooh, I love this. I love the button. Apologies, I had taken leave of my senses. Your timely intervention is much appreciated. Wait, by the look of you, I'd say you're an adventurer. Let me guess, that pumpkin-headed lady sent you to check up on me, did she? Yep. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you my tale. Try as I might, I just can't get the hang of transformation magics, and without the means to delight the crowds, we're starved for appreciation. I am an Arman. Paralyzing prey with this big eye of mine, not a problem. Turning them to stone with a petrifying glare, a trifling task. Hells, I can even smell despair and all manner of negative emotions in the people around me. Obviously, paralysis and petrification won't win over an audience, And my metaphorical nose for despair isn't going to put ether on the table either. I ought to just tell the pumpkin-headed lady I'm not cut out for this business. If you're here at her behest, you'd better come too. I think somebody's selling himself too short. Let me know what you think in the comments. Especially since with these events, there's they try to keep a lighthearted spirit. There is sort of a there you can do it sort of attitude. That about sums it up. I gave it my all and have not chauffeured, which is to say I've come to the conclusion that I will never be an entertainer. Never say never. Like, only when you've exhausted literally every avenue, then can you say that never. But only after that. I gather you had a hand in Phil Cox's decision to lay bare his thoughts and feelings. Not that it did any good. I'm still stuck at square one, underappreciated and underfed. Out of curiosity, will we ever find out who this person is? Or this Void Scent presumably is? Because I've seen her for a few events now. Of course, and, it's not clear, like, maybe there was a previous event where she was introduced. I don't know, not that it did any good, I'm still stuck at square one, underappreciated and underfed. Such a curious child. Are you truly so blind to your own potential? No doubt you have an inkling of, as to what I speak of. Pray share your wisdom with Myrokos. You can smell dark emotions, use your gift to help those in need, stamp out any negativity you sense within the common folk. That one's the first one there is definitely in the spirit of what they're trying to go for. Well, you'd be hard-pressed to find a Void Scent who'd suggest that. I don't see how helping others helps me. But then again, I know little of mortal ways, so perhaps I should heed your advice. Ah, wait, I see the logic in it now. What better way to make use of my talents and knock that pompous pompograph right off his pedestal? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I have no idea where to start. Perhaps I can lend a hand with a little sleight of hand. Hold still. No, there's the emote from last year. There's the glam. Not only is that getup guaranteed to turn heads, each and every thread is imbued with a potent magic to aid in your newfound purpose. Oh, you know, I think I can feel it. Is it really enchanted? I mean, granted, maybe the dye is special, but somehow I doubt that's the case. This has the feeling, trope-wise, of I trick the person into thinking they can do it by giving them a little something extra, when in reality it's their own talents all along. That has the feeling of it. Maybe this isn't going to be so tough after all. Yeah. There you are. You know, I had thought to apologize. for my harsh words earlier, since our act was my initiative and therefore our success, or lack thereof, was ultimately my responsibility, but I sense that you've been scheming. It pleases me to inform you, Papa Gruff, that I found a way to win over mortals on my own terms. I find that hard to believe, but since you seem so confident, why don't we have ourselves a contest? Whoever garners the most affection and thereby the largest share of ether-rich victuals wins, and to the victor go the spoils of subservience. The loser will be bound to obey their every whim. How does that sound? You're on. I hope you're ready to bow and scrape. That mortal epithet about one's bark being worse than one's bite comes to mind. Prepare yourself, Myrokos. I know I've got this marvelous magic outfit, but I'm still not entirely convinced I have what it takes to beat Papa Gruff on my own. Come with me, just until I get the hang of things. That's all I ask. Very well, I shall leave Philcox in your capable hands. I trust you will do everything in your power to assist Philcox in his endeavors. Okay. All fiends sated on All Saints' Wake. Ah, yes, and here's the glam. After a nudge in the right direction, Philcox is ready to embark on his mission. How about we try to find a troubled soul in need of aid? But let's get out of here first. Alright, time to look for folk harboring negative feelings. Give me a moment. I don't know if it has anything to do with that pumpkin-headed lady's enchantment, but my powers feel more potent than ever. I've already found someone, and whoever they are, they're awfully flustered. They're to the northeast, I think, though I'm not sure where exactly. The roads here can be confusing. Truth be told, this is my first time in the city. I've got a decent sense of direction, but I've yet to grasp the lie of the land. Could I trouble you to lead the way? Our flustered target is northeast of here. I'll be right behind you. Philcox is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to pursue with quest objectives. No, they brought back the circle. It's nice that they remind you of this as a technical thing, because some people might not get it. This could also be someone's first attempt at this, especially since I think this you just need to be level 15 to do this one. Or that's a mechanic that they introduced in Endwalker. clown was amazing. Turning a pumpkin into a little pop, whatever will they do next? Didn't they do that like last year? Discuss the delighted women. Ah, such glee. They mentioned a clown. I'd wager they've just had the privilege of seeing one of Papa Gruff's performances. Listen, I'll be the first to admit that he's an expert illusionist, and you've only got to look at folk like these ladies to see that he knows how to work a crowd. But it won't be upstage. I'll prove there's more than one way to win over an audience by following your timely advice, that is. Given the delight written on their faces, our opponent must have earned himself some sustenance, which means we've no time to lose. Onward. This person looks a flustered fellow. Say, did I tell you that Phil Cox is just an alias? The pumpkin-headed lady suggested that I use it to better engage with you mortal. My real name is... Actually, what does it matter? It's not like we'll see each other again when this is over and done with. Well, you never know, that could be next year. Then again, they didn't bring back the Power Rangers guy for this year for the summer event. Oh gods, where has she gotten to? This must be the fellow my senses were leading me to. We shall find out. Shall we find out what ails him? You there, what's gotten you so worked up? Oh, forgive me, there was this poor little girl who had been separated from her mother. I was helping her to look, but she suddenly disappeared. I can't simply abandon her, but then again, I have an urgent personal matter to attend to, and I don't know what to do. In that case, why don't I and my associate look for the girl, then you can see to your affairs without worry. Thank you, thank you. She's a young lass dressed in blue. I hope you're able to find her forthwith. Certainly was appreciative. Yet here I am empty-handed. Forget the food. We've lost child to find. Yeah, you typically don't get the reward until after you perform the assistance. I'm detecting a despairing presence to the east of here. Odds are it's the girl, which means I have need of your navigational news. Once again, after you. And there's the Gunbreaker questline that I'm kind of ignoring. Yeah. I should have known you'd turn up sooner or later. I thought this would be a fine opportunity to accrue some appreciation, but the poor girl is beside herself. She keeps calling out for her mama. Might I enlist your help? This must be the lost lass we've been looking for. If we want to earn her thanks, we'll need to reunite her with her mother, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Which means we now have a lady to locate. Any suggestions? Use your senses to search for someone feeling anxious. Why don't you try coming up with an idea yourself? Ooh, triple dot. Let's see what the triple dot does. Come, say something. Your silence is making me anxious. Ah, anxiety. I imagine that's how one would feel having lost their daughter. Let's see. Found her. I don't know which is the bigger boon, having you by my side or this fancy finery. I think I've learned my way around the city, more or less. I'll handle this next part on my own. Wait here, I'll be back with the girl's mother in no time. It's interesting that the sandal clips into the ground. The flip-flop thing flips into the ground sometimes, but oh well. 12 be praised, you're safe. You have my eternal gratitude. Thanks for finding Mama, mister. Do you believe me now, Papa Gruff? Sweet, sweet appreciation and all courtesy of my special talent. I can't help but notice I didn't offer you anything edible by way of thanks. For my part, I have already been rewarded with a tasty morsel. That said, the gift of food is far from guaranteed. Indeed, perseverance is key, which is why I find myself performing show after show. I suggest you approach this contest with the same tenacity, Myrokos. I'm afraid he's right. Constant effort is key. Luckily, I sensed another troubled soul while I was tracking down the girl's mother. I'd better see what I can do to help. You know, I think I'm ready to go it alone now. Why don't you let our pumpkin-headed benefactor know? I'll come and find you when I'm done. Well, I'm afraid my next performance calls until we meet again, adventurer. The adventurer returns, and at the precise moment I predicted. I do hope keeping Phil Hawk's company wasn't too taxing. What of our fiend and his endeavors? You have my thanks, truly. Ah, speak of the devils, here they come. Dear, oh dear, that turned out to be a damn sight harder than I'd anticipated, and all I have to show for my travails is a single cookie. To think that the first gift I'd received would prove to be the last. Curses, I didn't receive so much as a crumb. I suppose this means you win. Very well. I am yours to command, Papa Buff. You admit defeat far too readily, Phil Hawks. Hooray, we found you. I wanted to thank you properly for helping me and Mama. I brought you a pumpkin cookie. So I guess that's one apiece. Simply scrumptious. Where the fire would come from? Okay. And nobody's talking about the fire. I'm glad you like it. Farewell. That makes it one apiece. I draw then. Still Phil Cox. While you had some assistance along the way, you've nevertheless done yourself proud. To think I'd live to see the day Papa Gruff sings my praises. Awfully kind of you to finally admit that I might have worth. Is that all you desire? My begrudging acceptance? Have you forgotten your reasons for joining the festivities in the first place? Of course I haven't. The good people of Gridania are still in need of my help, and where there are common folk in need, there are cookies to be freed, and are given to me. Adventurer, I'd better get going, but before I do, let me say this. I might have found a way to make the most of my talents, but I wouldn't have been able to do so without you and the pumpkin-headed lady. I'm sure we'll run into each other again one of these days. Until then. Yep. See you next year. Hopefully. The promise I sensed in Philcox when he and I first met wasn't illusory after all. I should take my leave too. It would be remiss of me to allow him to garner all the glory, to say nothing of the cookies. I'd say those two fiends ended up having themselves a frightfully fun-filled All Saints' Wake, wouldn't you agree? And for your part in this, a fitting reward I present to you a set of finery as worn by Gridania's most emotionally perceptive Ahriman. Here's the glam. Ah, perhaps you wonder if your outfit is endowed with the same enchantment. You needn't worry, there never was an enchantment. I knew it. Little charade, that little charade was my way of giving Philcox the confidence he sorely lacked, although I dare say such a measure was unnecessary given he had you to cheer him on. Ah, before I forget, you are hereby cordially invited to my humble abode for a get-together of sorts. Do drop by, I assure you it will be frightfully entertaining. Anyway, your help is much appreciated. At this rate, my vision of an All Saints' Wake for mortals and voidsent alike might not be such a distant prospect, though I do hope that these shenanigans haven't dulled your enthusiasm for this most occult of occasions. You now have access to Sneaky Hollow, speaking with the unusual usher at Mikado's amphitheater to be escorted to the costume party. What's in there? Should be, there usually is. Let's see, there's that prism, and then the housing item, and yes I know. Out of curiosity, what does this do? Ah, yes. Okay. Nice. Nice. So, off to... the inn where I can stow away the glam and then test out the glamour and the glamour dresser. This one is my... not bad. And here, let's go to G. Not bad. Not bad at all. Bats on the back. Nice little gradient in the dye there. Solid color on the shoulder mantle bit. Yeah, this looks good. So, with that, if you liked what you saw at any point, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give me a follow on Twitch. Hit the notification bells. And I shall see you anon, friends.